Steph Diggs' attendance today, Mazz, and how he looks? Does that change the story for you as it relates to Steph Diggs?
No. I mean, when you say the story, I mean, I think the big picture with Diggs is still the same, which is that if Stefon Diggs takes it seriously, everything will be fine. But I do think that he's used a strike against him, if we can look at it that way. And I wonder if, the next time he decides to just disappear or not communicate with the team or whatever, or do something that they think is not in their best interest or the mutual best interest of the two, that they're still going to be agitated and they reserve the right to cut bait anytime they want. So the immediate thing when I saw him was, well, I guess Mike Vrabel's words landed, would be my guess. And that when I say Mike Vrabel's words, they clearly had a conversation. Vrabel cited that. I'll keep it in-house, basically, whatever I said with Steph during our conversation, or keep it in the organization. And my guess is that, again, if we conclude what we believed last week, which is that they were more upset about his not being there, maybe not taking it seriously, then I think Steph Diggs showing up is an indication of, okay, I got the message. That's sort of how I take it.
Yeah, it's great that he's there, week late, but you finally showed up. I know it's voluntary, but you're there. Great, good. But long way to go between now and September 7th, the opener against the Raiders. So, all right, light dawns on Marblehead. He got it. He's there. That's good. I want him there. Even if he's not working out and can't participate in the 11-on-11s because of the knee, he's got to be there. But who knows what could happen between now and week
Exactly.
one. Well, so couple things. One, Mazz, he got the message from Vrabel, or did he get the message on the contract? There are a couple different reports over the weekend that people really digging into the contract, which it's good to know the exact details. Again, thank you to Mike Florio. I'll read you some of it here coming up. But I knew, just knowing them and looking at it critically and just having been around the block, it's not my first rodeo. There's no way that they would have signed a guy this high risk without building in a tremendous amount of protection for themselves, which they obviously did. They may not have paid him a dime so far. It's unclear. He's got to pass a physical for him to get any bonus money per the contract. And who knows if he has, passed that physical. I mean, maybe he's passed something. He's on the field, so he's passed some sort of threshold. The point is that, Florio and others went and dug up the contract, which leads me to believe that Steph Diggs was reminded of the contract. Steph, you may not get a dime if you're not here.
Do you look at that as I do, in that how hard did those guys have to dig to get that information, or was it maybe pushed towards them by someone in the organization to let them know, hey, we got an out here?
So, I don't know. I mean, the contracts are filed with the NFLPA, the Players Association, and if you're good with an agent, the agent should be able to dig up the contract for you. So it's really
Definitely.
not, I don't think it's that hard of a pull. But I do think just, stepping back, that's probably part and parcel with what was going on here. I've said from day one, because I just know how this stuff is done. The contracts is as important as the football stuff with Vrabel, if not more so. What do they owe him? What are the guarantees? What are the outs? That immediately came on the table this weekend. And the contract, not surprisingly, is dramatically in their favor. And this is another reason why he's probably here, that he was reminded of the contractual ramifications of not being here.
Right. But that's the part I'm focused on, is that the contract didn't change.
No, God, no.
Right.
No.
So this was the Patriots saying to him, look, do you want to play or not? Because we can get out of this right now if we want.
And they can't get out of it because he missed an OTA. They can't get out of it because he was on a boat passing out, whatever. But they can get out of it by failing him on the physical, and it's solely at their discretion. It's their doctor who will determine if he passes the physical or not. And that's it. So it's not going to take much. And sure, if the knee's good and they still fail him, are they inviting a grievance? Yep, of course. Yep. And then you have an injury settlement and blah, blah, blah. And that's what, that's where I think it's headed if he's gone. That's where it's not, I didn't think he was going to get cut for the boat video. I thought he's not going to make it, which I still think is on the table.
It's still on the table. It is on the table.
So what got him to camp this week? Was it Vrabel in the conversation? Was it being reminded of the contractual
I think it was a threat.
realities? I think it's all the above.
Yeah, I think it was a threat. I think that they basically said to him, look, the deal is we want you to play football, but you have to be serious about it. If you're not serious about it, then we'll go our separate ways, and that's that.
So what does this mean for Diggs' viability here? Well, it certainly feels better today than it did, say, last Friday. I'll grant you that. But roll it back 2 weeks. Roll back 3 weeks. Whatever. And if you said to me, Felger, before we get to the mandatory minicamp, Diggs will be there for a practice session without a brace, without a red jersey, going through individual drills, looking pretty good. And the week before, he will have been out of camp, partying in Miami, passing out whatever on a boat that shows up on the internet. And if you said to me, at the end of the day, do you feel better or worse about that overall situation? What would be my answer?
Worse.
Worse. I expect the thing today. I mean, that's a baseline.
No, if he didn't show up, I mean, put it this way. If Vrabel said something to him about, look, we really like you to be here, and Diggs was flippant, for lack of a better word, was sort of like, yeah, right, I'll make it in later, don't worry, I'm good. I think it'd be over already. I do. Like, so my point being is today was almost a foregone conclusion because it would be over otherwise. I think that if they made it clear to him, we want you here, okay, I'll be there. Like, if he just paid them lip service in that conversation,
yep.
If he was sort of half like, yeah, no, and was, like, refused to engage on a human level,
yep. Like,
hey, we want you here. Do you understand that? Yeah, I'm sorry. Look, I'll be there. If he didn't give them that,
right,
I think they'd have pulled the plug.
They might have. I just think overall, status is quo for me. I mean, the whole thing last week was, look, it feels better today than it did at the end of last week. I mean, that I'll grant you for sure. Because I guess to Mazz's point, I guess there was a possibility it could be over by now. I didn't think it was going to be like that. I just think, here's what I think. With problem players, people, it's not linear. It's like your 2-year-old. It's like raising a kid. You think it's linear. You think you cross a threshold, and okay, you're the kid at 2.5 years old stops, doesn't crap his pants for a couple days, and you think to yourself, "Woo, that's it. No more diapers. No more having to clean this kid's ass. We're done. It's over. Now we move on to the next thing." And then the next thing you know, 2 days later, you're in the coffee shop, and the kid craps his pants.
Oops.
And you got to clean the whole thing up. And
yep.
It's not linear.
And it smells.
You know what I mean? And it's like, this is what happens with problem players. Antonio Brown, you signed, you felt great, he had a bad day, what's going on? Then he showed up to camp, then he had a day, he caught a touchdown, everything's good. Then the next day there's this. It goes up, down, back, forth. That's the way it goes. So you wish it were linear. You wish you start down here and then you end up there, and it's just a nice, clean, that's just not the way it goes with guys who are tough, or pain in the ass, whatever. So that's what I think with this. Mike Vrabel reported that we've obtained and reviewed the entire contract until he passes a full physical, including as to the injured knee. He's entitled to nothing. And that wrinkle gives rise to another question that recently became very relevant. If the Patriots decide to cut Diggs, do they owe him anything? First, paragraph 26 of the contract sets forth the signing bonus. Under paragraph 26A, Mazz, Diggs gets $12 million with $4 million paid within 2 weeks of execution. While this implies that he has already received $4 million, paragraph 26B, if you're following along,
okay, got it,
says this. Player's entitlement to receive the amount set forth in paragraph A immediately above is expressly conditioned upon player's passing of a physical examination by club, as determined exclusively by club's physician, confirming his ability to practice and play in accordance with the standards and requirements of his position, as to which club will rely upon, among other things, player's full and complete disclosure of all facts and circumstances material to his health, well-being, and performance. That last line should stand out to you if you've been following this story closely. I don't have my highlighter. There it is. This is a highlighter kind of paragraph. The club, again, it's the physical is on the club's discretion.
Right.
The club's doctor, the club's discretion. It's all on the club.
I'm not surprised by that. Keep going.
Including the club's discretion on the player's full and complete disclosure of all facts and circumstances material to his health, well-being, and performance. What was reported over the weekend, Mazz, by a couple different places? Quiz time. It was reported in a couple different places that it's going to be important to know what Steph Diggs says to Mike Vrabel, and is he honest with Mike Vrabel? A couple different people reported that.
Yeah, right.
Is he going to feed Mike Vrabel a line of bullcrap, or is he going to be honest with him?
Right. This part I saw. I thought you meant something related to his health.
No. Well, but people are just tying that to Mike Vrabel and Steph Diggs man-to-man, Mike Vrabel not getting the runaround from a player.
Yep.
What if it's in the contract? Among other things, were you not listening? Players' full and complete disclosure of all facts.
Of course.
So it's like he has to tell him the truth. What was in the bag? What were you doing? What was going on? Etc. So it's like, I think because I feel like the team fed those guys that thing, because it appeared in a couple different places. Giardi, Breer, I think Reese might have said it, but, Giardi and Breer for sure. A lot is going to matter about, is he honest with Mike Vrabel? What the implication was there, he has to, as per terms of his contract.
Yeah, well, then they got him over a barrel. Because it's either that or, we're going to leverage you. And look, the Patriots are good at this part of it, which is to say that when it comes to crisis management, but gray area management, and they, when like a player like him, we're going to want to know everything. We're going to know who you're hanging out with. We're going to know what you're doing at night. We're going to know who you're working out with, what the program is, either because we're going to dictate most of it. And if you get into some sort of trouble, you're going to tell us exactly what it was and who you were with. So, by all means, yeah.
I mean, it's just a couple different levels. One is just the human level with Vrabel. Don't give me a bunch of bull crap and don't waste my time.
He's not the kind of guy I think you can bull crap with either. I don't think he'd take that well.
And Vrabel's just starting. Is like, I'm not doing this. I know what's what. Just let's be straight with each other and let's not waste each other's time. There's that part of it. And then there's the Patriots have an out. It's one of their outs on the contract. That it includes the player's full and complete disclosure of all facts and circumstances material to his health. Would you say taking drugs or being around drugs is material to a player's health?
Sure.
Okay. So I think there's like...
And also, that gets so gray, you could argue a million things. And also his state of mind and mental health.
I stick with the contract. Contracts are important and the money is important. And it's good that he's here today. That's good video. It's good for the Patriots that video should take precedent over the machine gun twerking on the. When I say machine gun, like I've never seen twerking like. Did you finally?
Oh
see
yeah,
it?
no, I saw it on Friday.
That second video.
Yeah, no, it's great.
I mean, that is.
Yeah, I wish I could twerk like that.
Seriously.
I don't have enough meat on my ass to twerk like that.
I don't think you have the quick twitch muscles.
No,
frankly. I don't think you have the whole.
No, you'd be surprised.
You have nothing that would allow you to do that.
No, the twitch muscles I have. I can wiggle my ears, my nose, all kinds of stuff.
I'm with you, Mazz. I got an ass like a credit card.
Yeah, no, I can twerk. I don't think that's. I don't think the issue is the actual muscle movement. I think it's got more to do with the jelly.
You want the video with the medicine ball and the 3-cone and him cutting and sort of galloping a little bit. That's what you want. You don't want the flipping over the bag of whatever, cut to twerking like you've never, like you don't want that. You want this. If only it were linear.
Depending on which side of it you're on.
If only it meant it were over. That you go from point A to point B to point C. It doesn't typically work that way, but we'll see with this.